Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. And we are just going to have a good time. I have my friend next to me here, my co-host Christopher Messina, good-looking, smart man. And this week, I don't even need a laugh track because I have Chris. He's going to laugh at my joke, even though he doesn't care. But I love you, Chris.
Hilarious.
He's just a bad producer. Don't you think so, Chris?
Oh, magic.
He stole half my sandwich, by the way, that you bought me.
Delicious.
Good. But Chris, me and Chris, we have a lot to talk about. By the way, Chris, we are joined now by our Instagram fans, our YouTube fans, our Facebook fans, but our live radio audience is going to come on in 4 or 5 minutes, and we're going to have a whole discussion about a lot of things. Chris didn't even know that they signed the agreement today, with the president and Trump and Harris, whatever you want to call her, President Harris, whatever she is now, for September 10th, and I believe that it's serious. I believe that they are going to have that debate. By the way, welcome Michael Smith to the show. By the way, I have a wedding tomorrow.
I do. I'm very excited about it.
You better come,
It's going to be awesome.
Chris is going to come by Uber for like $900, but I don't care.
No price is too high to pay.
I love you. It's going to be a great wedding tomorrow at the Sands. Chris, I'm not a controversial kind of guy.
I know. It's a burden to bear. Trying to get you excited about things is tricky.
Right. And so I've been pretty good through the wedding set up with my future in-laws. I really haven't caused any major issues or troubles. And all of a sudden, yesterday, we started to have an argument and fight. Oh, look, the producer with the finger. Why does that producer have that finger there? Anyways.
Moving on from
Beauty.
family matters.
So yesterday got bad, but I am not a controversial person, and I did not cause the trouble. It was them that caused the trouble. I know you guys don't believe me, but tomorrow we're going to have a ball of a wedding. Yes, they took away the ceremony from the beach because we're going to be naked women there. There's not going to be no. What women go to the beach at 9 o'clock at night? Really?
I think you're taking the comments out of context, Heshy. I really do.
I don't know about that, but anyways, I've given into everything to my children. It's going to be a wonderful wedding. I got myself a regular suit off the rack that fits me perfect. My son needed a custom-made suit. You know what a custom-made suit costs?
I do. It's almost like an Uber ride to a wedding.
No. It's 5 times the Uber rides. And then all of a sudden, the other brothers wanted custom-made suits.
They got a match.
I got that.
Got a match.
I'm too old. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to walk him down the aisle. That's the ceremony. We're going to hold candles. We're going to pray. I'm going to, people before, in the very religious people, the young man has to fast. And he becomes the king for the day. And whatever you ask him to pray for supposedly comes through for him and the bride. So people think I'm going to be praying just for certain people. I'm going to be praying for America. I'm going to be praying for Donald Trump. I'm going to be praying for you, my dear friend Christopher Messina. Not that you need my prayer, but I know that you need a prayer because things should stay good. You're very nervous. You and me had a discussion today about World War III. You actually believe that we're going to be in trouble.
We're in it. We're in the middle of it. We're in month 1.
I don't know. Natasha, welcome to the show. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different little things. We're gonna have my joke and quote. And I'm going to tell you about this great guy. I want to do a commercial. I want to start the show with a commercial. I never really start with a commercial, but I got to start. I'm going to tell you what happened. It was so funny. I want to welcome all the people first from WSNR, so I'm going to wait for them. But yesterday I was walking in the street. After I had this argument with the future in-laws or whatever.
The discussion.
The discussion. Well, they thought they were right, but they don't understand there's only so much you can bully. But I ended up making peace. You know what I mean?
Well done.
They're not bad people, but they're nuts. So I was walking down the street, and I bumped into this guy, Yitzchak Yablonsky, wonderful boy. And he says to me, Heshy, I'm a fan of yours. And he likes me, and all of a sudden he meets me on the street, and he says, how are you? I said, I'm a little upset. What's happening? I'm spending money on all these things. I told him about the wedding, and I told him that it's our anniversary. It wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago.
That's right. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, it was my anniversary. Welcome to all my fans from WSNR Radio. Say hello, Mike. Christopher Messina, my co-host. Welcome WSNR, WNEW FM HD3, and WPVID in in Florida. So I was walking down the street and I bumped into this guy, Yitzchak Yablinsky, and I tell him, he says, "Hey, I'm a fan of yours. How you doing? Let's take a picture." And I said, "Fine." And I told him it's my anniversary, and I said I'm broke from the wedding, and I can't even buy Linda jewelry. He says, "You won't believe it. I'm in the jewelry business." I said, "You're so full of it." He says, yeah. I said, "I can't afford you guys." He says, "Heshy, you come into my store, and I want you to put that store up. It's called the Estate Exchange." I said, "Come on, you can't take me this." He drags me by my hand, and then his wife is there, and he takes me in there, and he treats me like a king. And I'm making fun of him. I said, you know, Heshy's broke. He says, "No, Heshy, this is like giving it away for free." You ever hear somebody
Just like
jewelry for free? I mean, this guy is whacked.
That's when I grab my wallet and hold on tight.
I told him
it's almost free.
Almost free. So I hope they put that poster up of him. It's called the Estate Exchange. Fine jewelry, rare and estate pieces. And the way he was talking to me, the way he showed me his pieces, that they go up in value. And he says, "It's not like my watch." I showed him my watch that my wife bought me 34 years ago. It's worth crap. Even though she paid $5,000 for it. Gold and numbers. I don't know. Anyways.
Does it tell time?
The battery broke. I walk around.
See, the one feature you were going to use.
I know. But this Movado watch that I stole from somebody, it works fine. You have to steal from people. No, God forbid I did not steal it. Linda did pay for it. Anyways, the Estate Exchange, fine jewelry, rare and estate pieces. He's specialist in the exchange of fine metals. He's in Brooklyn, New York, 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, and his website is www.nyc.gold.com, nyc.gold.com. He's just, this guy is. If you need to reach him, give me a call. I'll give you his number again. You can contact the Just Enough Heshy Show, but just 5303 12th Avenue. Go to his website, nyc-gold.com. You'll see all the stuff. He's on Instagram. He's just a great guy. And his phone number, did his phone number pop up? I think his phone number. Did you see a phone number? I think
it did.
I don't see a phone number.
But how can you not go? He's practically giving it away.
He's giving it away.
Giving it away.
And then when he told me he's giving me the jewelry for free, he says, "Which card you going to use?" He said, "Well, we have to pay tax." By the time I'm finished, $2,400 later, I said, "That's not tax."
Well,
he says,
"No,
free. Heshy, this is like free."
It's like free.
I know. He's a very nice guy. He made me feel good. He made me feel better. Really, the piece was a beautiful necklace from Linda. And I was going home to buy Linda, I swear to you, 5 lotto tickets. And instead, this guy conned me out of $2,400. But it was great. He's a good man. He was wonderful. He showed me the pieces. He explained it to me. He showed it to other women. It was really a nice little piece. And Linda really is not a jewelry person. She actually liked it. Linda gave me a big hug and kiss, and she made me a chicken cutlet.
Better than a lottery ticket.
Hey, I had to save money. I couldn't go out like you to these $5,000 restaurants, By the way, my friend Christopher went to Italy for 3 weeks. I want to ask you one question, Christopher.
Oh, please.
I know you have money and stuff. I want to know what an average dinner was. Truth, don't lie to us. You have 2 kids plus a wife with these big, heavy.
3 kids. 3 kids.
I had to cut one out because of all the money you spent.
3 kids.
I have a one in college.
Yeah, she's in college.
Okay, so you're really broke. My question is that heavy jewelry that I see your wife carrying around with you. What were those dinners costing? Really, $300-400 a night minimum.
Oh, I'm probably sure. Yeah, I wasn't really.
So let's calculate.
Well, it's in that funny euro
21
money,
days. 21 days he's there times $300. $7,000 on food.
But it was so good. It was so, and I got really prosperous in the process.
I hate it. You're lying, you skinny bum. You are delicious, gorgeous. Anyways, we're going to talk about Harris that I hate so much. Liz Cheney, that Republican witch. She actually endorsed Harris.
Of course, she endorsed Cackles.
Is she mentally ill? That's why she lost.
Well, Trump derangement syndrome it's kind of an Omicron variant.
I know, you don't like
now.
Trump anymore.
No, he's okay. I think it's a condemnation of our entire country that these are our 2 choices. That this is the 3rd election in a row where people will be voting against someone instead of for someone.
Isn't that stupid? I'd rather not vote for him and vote for the worst choice just because I hate him. I don't know why you hate Trump. What did he do to you? He only did good. You don't like what he did? I can go right down the list of bad people.
They're not going to hear it. Doesn't matter.
Anyways, I'm going to give you my quote. Can you hear my quote?
Please.
Here's my quote.
Please.
You know, I have a standard quote: to be curious and not judgmental. And I'm going to explain to you why I say that. By the way, I have a friend. He watches our show, Benny Klinghoffer. When I had like 50 people at my house last weekend for the pre-wedding party, and I needed places to put people. And Benny gave me his apartment. He gave me his codes. I put some people there. We respected his thing, but he gave me his house. No questions asked. And all the people that put up, my friends, you are all wonderful. Thank you so much. And me and Linda, we had, people think, oh, the guest went home. We had a maid. Me and Linda had to clean and strip beds from Saturday night till Sunday morning. I'm so happy it's my last kid.
One of our commenters here
suggested
that we have a normal co-host finally.
Oh, not a normal co-host, an intelligent. He's very much smarter than me. I'll tell you one thing. This guy is brilliant, and he's good looking, and he's a wonderful wife.
So you haven't been to the eye doctor in a while.
That's what I'd say about Linda. That's very good. You stole my joke. You know, I had somebody that I invited to the wedding, and he has a history that he was in jail.
All right.
But he went to jail for protecting other people like me. And they judged him. And I tell people, don't judge people till you find out. Be curious. Look into it before you say something. And the reason I give you this quote is because Mr. Trump, you can judge him, but if you actually see the stuff that he does, the stuff that he goes through, the stuff that you've put this man through. I mean, Mr. Bragg, our stupid district attorney, lets rapists, murderers, guys who beat up cops off the hook, guys who come to kill me till they beat up 3 other people. But Donald Trump, for $105,000 hush money, even though he's not guilty, you're putting him in jail for 20 years. I mean, I don't believe it's even. I mean, they don't even let him appeal, and he appeals. It's like the dumbest thing on the planet.
But I thought you used to speak Democrat. This is what these people do.
Yeah.
It's just absolute madness. And Bragg is
wacko.
beyond a disgrace.
I can't wait to get in city council. Mr. Bragg,
Horrifying.
you're gonna lose your budget. I don't know. I can't fire you, but I'm gonna make sure that you don't have employees to work over there because you don't do anything anyways. Anyways, my real quote is as follows. People waste their time pondering whether a glass is half empty or half full. Me, I just drink whatever's in the glass. I know you don't think that's all philosophical and smart like you.
That's excellent. That could be the intro to any Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
I accept my fate today. You all think of the future and the children. What's wrong with today? Today is the future. Fix what you have today. I'm here for you. We are here for you. Today is the future. Our children are here today. Our children are doing drugs today. Our children are smoking. What do you say about marijuana? Marijuana.
I've heard of it. Sounds terrible.
I love you.
It makes people eat brownies and then they get fat.
No, but I don't like marijuana. I mean, I know that you have no problem with it and guns and the Second Amendment, the Fifth Amendment.
How did you get from marijuana to defending home and hearth? Like
because
pot in the
freedom.
70s and 60s and 70s, Oaxacan ditchweed that would grow up anywhere on the side of the road, gave you a gentle buzz. The insane stuff that they have genetically engineered today is insanity. It's automatic psychosis. I don't know why or how anyone smokes it.
You just wait till it's sold on every corner. Anyways, you should tell Linda happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I've been married to this girl, this crazy witch, for 34 years. She's tortured me, but I love her. And she has a lot of money, as I keep telling you. So I'm happy to go with her. Infinite Justice, welcome to the show. Benny, where have you been? Did we make your apartment dirty? I'm sorry. I don't have money for a maid for you. I apologize, but you're wonderful. And I want to thank all the people. But again, tomorrow, that wedding is going to be a blast. Benny, I hope you come. I'm not paying for your car service. Here is my joke of the day. Me and Linda were in the store, and Linda makes me miserable in the supermarket. This aisle, that aisle, where's this, where's that? And finally Linda says, go ask where the nuts are. So I go over to the guy there, says, where are the nuts? He says to me, all over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, nice.
I thought you'd laugh, you bad man. Anyways.
That's gratuitous. The laugh track is extra.
Yeah, I know. Where's that laugh track? At least now I need that laugh track. Anyways.
Am I allowed to tell a joke?
You please do, because nobody's laughing at my joke.
That was a good joke, but this actually happened on the way over to me.
Oh, good. We need a real joke. I usually make fun of Linda, but this is
fantastic. This guy's crossing the street, older gentleman, and he gets clipped by a bus. It wasn't moving too fast.
Oh, wow.
So he knocks down. It was a little stressful. People huddled around him, and someone took a coat and put it under his head and said, "Are you comfortable?" And the guy lying on the ground says, "I make a living."
That is a worse joke than mine. Come on, guys. There's no way he beats my joke. Okay, he's from Florida. He's better than us. You know what I mean? He doesn't know better, and he carries a gun. Are you allowed to carry a gun in New York?
No, because the insane people here want to disarm the citizenry, and I'd rather not spend 4
But
years.
this boy has that gun. He's one of those pistol packing cowboy men.
I'm a calm, rational citizen.
You know, I know you wrote a book.
I did.
And if I'm correct, if you don't mind me saying it, it's called Messina's Federal Budget. Christopher, what is the book about?
It took me 15 years to write.
15 years,
having
okay.
Worked in the capital markets and worked in D.C. for my sins for years. I started to bitch about the government one day, and I realized, wait, you're not supposed to complain about something unless you offer a solution.
Right.
So I thought, that's easy. I'll read the budget, and I'll kind of mark it up, and I'll decide what would be a better budget for the American people overall. 15 years and 15 budgets later, and a lot of Valium, I produced a version which I think is a lot better. It cuts away most of the departments created after World War II, takes us from 7.7 trillion a year to 2.2 trillion, gets rid of unions, gets rid of
Are you
Department of
listening to this,
Education.
guys? Are you listening to this? Go ahead.
You
keep
too
going.
can read all about it. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, it's everywhere.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and it's called Messina's Federal Budget. How much is it?
Everywhere from, I think, $9 for the Kindle version to $40 for the beautiful full-color hardcover version.
Oh, beautiful. Cheaper than one of your $3,000 meals in Italy.
Exactly. So you could go to Italy and eat well, or you could buy 4 dozen copies of this and give it to your best friends.
Question for you. A simple question. I'm reading polls. Harris is in the lead by 2 points. Trump is in the lead by 2 points. Whatever which way you want to go. First of all, what is your opinion? Who do you think is in the lead?
You're on Wall Street.
I don't want you to make a decision who's going to win.
I'm going to tell you about this particular issue. On Wall Street, there's a price ticker that goes across screens, and for professional traders, there are indicative bids and offers on the screen that you can either act on. You can buy or sell according to those prices. When you put up a price that isn't real, that's completely fake to make someone else think and do something differently, it's called painting the tape. It's fake. Wow. So right now, all these polls are painting the tape. It's a lie. There's no way.
I said that.
That Cackles went from 0 votes in the primary to 24% approval rating amongst the whole population, not 6 months ago, to she's the joyful brat savior. Right. It's insanity. The media are the Democrat machine. And anyone who listens to a word they have to say is delusional. Trump is going to stroll home with this.
I love this.
Because
I love Christopher. I swear to you, I love this boy.
Idiot. I will give a spork if I made to a friend, David Blackman, who's had me on a show a few times. He's got a weekly piece that he calls Kamala Explains, which is just a clip of her and her word salad. She is
dumb.
Beyond dumb, it is a condemnation of our nation that this clown is vice president. It is ridiculous how incompetent she is.
And you're going to make this crazy woman who is, you're going to see on September. Do you think she's going to do good in the debate? I mean, you don't know there's a debate, but I'm telling you they signed it today. Do you think she has
She's going to get destroyed.
Even though
if there's anything remotely, I don't expect the Lincoln Douglas debates anymore, where real adults stood up and debated each other.
That's President Lincoln and Doug. Yeah, I read about it.
They try to keep it so tightly controlled, and even there, without a teleprompter, she's going to go word salad.
Oh, beautiful.
And then
there's no teleprompter?
How can there be? They're supposed to ask them questions. Right, now, last time, of course, they fed Hillary Clinton the answers beforehand. Even then, it was a disaster. Right. But they're going to ask Cackles a question, and at some point, after the word salad begins to drone on and on, she's just going to interrupt and go, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to get popcorn for it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's great. Anyways, so I believe that she's lost. I believe that you guys have to vote for Trump. I don't know what you're thinking, anybody out there in America. We're stuck. There's no solutions. Even people thinking about, look at this guy, Governor Cuomo, mess around, abuses 11 women. You all forgot, and there's even a chance that people are talking that he might come back and run for mayor.
Really?
Are we crazy? Really? Look, he's being courted around that he's going to run for mayor.
pains me. It's like sit in the dirt and rend my shirt pains me. What has happened to the city of my birth, that I would love to still be here. It kills me.
You say it every time. I feel
Apathy
embarrassed.
and indifference. 11% of registered voters voted in the last mayoral election. If you don't vote, you get what the professional politicians give you, and what they want to give you is nothing. And take everything from you. And all you have to do once every 2 or 4 years is wake up, brush your teeth, go to the poll and vote. Because remember, if you're voting against a Democrat, they've already got 7 dead people that already voted, probably using your ticket. So it kills me.
It doesn't make a difference, Democrat, Republican. You know, I have 330,000 people that live in our 20 square block area, our district. I think a total registered voters is 40 to 60,000. My friend Tom told me. You know how many people came out to vote in the last election?
9,000.
6,000.
Wow. This is
and
my rampant
it gets
optimism.
worse. It gets worse. In the primary, 800.
That's insane.
You guys are foolish. 800 people decided who your leader is, and then total between the 2 parties or the 3 parties. I'm sorry, maybe not even 6,000. It was 2,000, 1,000. This is who's going to represent you in city council, and the head of the city council is chosen by all these losers who total.
May I make it even clearer for your listeners? Because even that's too abstract. They represent you. They're in the city council. Let's make it really clear. They're the ones that decide how much to take out of your pocket in taxes, in fees,
and get you arrested,
lowering the speed limit down to 7 miles an hour so you get a ticket, and putting in cameras.
No, they did lower it. You're not joking. They lowered it from 35 to 30 to 25. Now, Avram was showing me, my son.
My car idles at 35. When I'm driving through here, I have to ride the brakes, and even then, the last 2 times I've driven through New York City, 3 weeks later, I get a ticket in the mail.
You have to. There's no way around it.
My car cannot do 20.
15 now on certain areas.
It's insanity.
It
is a way to steal from you.
And your city council, let's calculate. Let's just say every member of the city council gets 10,000 votes out of 50. You're talking out of 8 million citizens. Forget the migrants that vote illegally. 8 million citizens.
They get to vote 4 times as part of their special package.
But 8 million citizens, 500,000 people represented, got to vote the whole, that's if it was that many. I know it's not, to put you in the city council. I mean, you have women in the city council that I'm ashamed that are sitting there and do nothing. You have people that don't know what a budget is, and they're voting on a $119 billion budget. These guys never even had a job.
Yeah, 100 billion here, 100 billion there. Soon it's real money.
They raise our taxes. They raise it again.
Exactly.
Then they capital gains taxes. They think it's a joke. You know, not all of us make a lot of money, but some of us do make a little bit of money when we sell a building or real estate, or we invest in stocks. Not like you, billions of dollars, but we put away some money and we made like $20,000, like I did this year, $22,000. I have to pay 39% of it to taxes.
And you should be glad to, because they're deadbeat constituents.
I know you're
services.
joking. I know you're joking.
Oh, of course. But again, if the people, the political class, which the founding fathers never wanted to happen, they make government simultaneously 2 things: insanely complicated and mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
And that is a potent combination for a low attention span society. If it takes more than 18 seconds to describe what something does, and that's not the TikTok kids, that's everybody.
Everybody.
And just know this, they want to take your money and restrict your freedom. That was under 11 seconds. Remember.
We have, I have a lot of Muslim clients, good people. And they're not interested in this stupid politics. And they go out to work, they make money, they struggle, they suffer. And when you are honorable, whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, when you're trying to do the right thing, the government comes after you, takes your money, and they just kill you. And these guys are hard workers. And then you have these people who make believe they're Muslims and make believe they're Jewish. We have that. We have these leftist Jewish, we have these leftist Muslims, and these idiots are protesting on the street. They're defaming our property. They're destroying our landmarks, and they don't get touched by the cops. And I want to say, they don't get arrested.
Oh.
Trump goes to jail. But listen to this. 33-year-old teacher shot in the Bronx through a window. At the West Indian Day Parade, 3 people were shot as Schumer was dancing by saying, hello, hello, hello.
That's traditional, though.
Let's take a phone call. Christopher, who's on the phone?
Who's on the phone?
Hello.
Hello. You got me and Christopher
Yes,
Messina.
Heshy.
Who's calling? Yes.
Hi, how are you? Burak from Borough Park.
Hello, Baruch. How are you?
Good, Baruch Hashem. I know somebody, I was listening last week, called in about Rosh Hashiva, about voting, endorsing, I don't even want to say his name, the other candidate that's running against you. I don't want to give him any publicity.
I love
But
you.
it's crazy. There's a Rav in Borough Park. I'm not going to say a name.
I know it. He's
going against you.
And
It hurts me to see it.
And I want to tell you something, Christopher. This is not a joke. Forget that I believe that I'm a good guy. Of course, everybody believes they're a good guy, Chris. And this rabbi who has no idea, who I help a lot of those synagogues where he's located on 12th Avenue over there. And he what's it? It's the Shlivovitz shul. I forgot what the rabbi's name is. This guy.
Okay, since you said it, I'm going to say it. It's Steinwartzel.
Steinwartzel. I didn't want to. Right. And my
much.
brother used to pray over there too sometimes. Here's a guy who has no knowledge, has never met me. Some of his members needed some of my help, and he's talking against me to a guy for Mr. Felder, Simcha Felder, who's a senator who has done nothing in the last 5 years, who has accomplished zero. When he was a city councilman, he dropped out of the city council so he can get a better job. Now that he wants to retire, he doesn't want to run to Albany because he hasn't voted and they force him to come. So he's going to run for city council. Yes, he has a reputation, and you know what? When you speak to him and you give him a heartache problem, you know what he says? God will help you. God should reward you. Thank you. I don't need you to do that. I have a rabbi that tells me that. But and that's why I'm telling you, you guys are judgmental when you see that I'm on the streets every day. I take the phone calls. You know, I had a young lady that called me that my elevator in the building's not working with the management agent. I'm not an elevator man. I called the management agent. The management agent told me there's a problem with his elevator and his elevator people. And I know contractors take forever and parts. I recommended him 2 other guys. I called my elevator company over. They went over. They fixed it. They charged him a little more. I got it done. Sometimes a phone call to be done. I have a Assemblyman, Mr. Eichenstein, from all our local assemblymen. He's the nicest guy. When I have a problem with somebody in jail, and he's the one, he even came to my party this week and said to everybody, he fought to get legislation to get kosher food in the jails for the guests of the prisoners because I took him to the jail. Here's a guy that understands kindness and understands to listen to the people. He understood to take my call, and he helps me with special needs children. What you people don't understand is you're making a judgment for no reason. And I'm here in your community. It's not like I'm anywhere else. Some reason because they don't want me to scream and holler. I was telling you, we Jewish people are very quiet. It's not the point of being quiet. And I'm going to explain.
This is news to me, my friend.
And I want to explain to a lot of you guys. It's not like I'm 5 generations away from the Holocaust. It's not like I didn't see it. I was born in 1964. Okay, my father was an actual survivor from the Holocaust with the numbers on his hand. He was burnt, his family was burnt and killed out. I've been to Israel in 1969. I walked on the sites where they killed people. I just want you to acknowledge that you think that the Jews stole the land from the Arabs or the Palestinians. In 1929, there was no land of Israel, and still they went to kill the Jews. And talking 600, 500 Jews. 1934, again, Israel didn't exist. They went out and killed them. For what reason? There was no country. There was no land. They didn't even. They were just coming and immigrated. They wanted a piece of farmland, like they came to America. The Irish, the Italians. They wanted a piece of land for themselves, so they went out to the West. And they took dead, filthy death of a land, and they put their life's bread into it, and they made themselves successful. That's what the Jews did. They were willing to share. They're still willing to share. But I see videos when they say to the Palestinians, you can't kill people. Do you want the Jews dead? No, we want them out and dead, and those hostages should never be returned. Really? Hostages? When we have a hostage situation in New York City, whether you're black, white, Italian, Muslim, we want them back. We want the situation over in a day. Here, it's almost a year we have these people in prisoners. And at least take care of the hostages. You saw what they did to those 6 hostages the other day?
This is what you
shot them in the back of the head like an animal.
Yeah.
Like a dog.
It's an absolute nightmare. And
we protest in New York City for them. And the cops allow them.
Well, we're not protesting. The useful Western idiots are protesting.
And we have some Jews that march with them.
It is madness.
Yeah.
It is absolute madness.
I'm ashamed. And I know God's going to punish them. But I want you to know, guys, when I become city councilman, I'm going to get this outlawed. And if the police don't do something, I'm going to set up investigations. I'm going to get those police either fired, or I'm going to scream at that chief. I'm going to torture the mayor. I cannot have an event on a street without going through a hell to get a permit. These guys wake up, walk down the street, block parks, block streets, block bridges, scream, I'm going to kill my fellow. If I come over to you on the street and I start threatening to say I'm going to kill you, I get arrested. But these guys can walk down and say, kill the Jews, burn the American flag, death to America, and we let them go.
Well, the first thing you need to do is just take the laws we passed in Florida. You're not allowed to march in the streets without your face uncovered. You're not allowed. And they tried it a few times, and it was in a couple of Florida campuses, and cops walked right over them like, you're going to jail right now if you don't take that face mask off. And guess what? They slunk away because these brave supporters of Hamas don't want to speak.
There was a guy last week, he was wearing a mask with a gun, a mask, and he was covered up, and they saw a bulge in him, and they told him he was one of the first guys arrested. And in Long Island, there's a no wear mask policy anymore. You can't be walking around with a mask unless for a health hazard. And they arrested him, and you know what they did? They found a knife in him.
Of course they did.
And you guys have to understand, this is America that we have to be the most important part of our Constitution. One thing, I forget your Second Amendment, First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment, the pursuit of happiness. That was the objective of our forefathers. People who died for us, people who gave up their lives, people who came to this country like my father. I am the next generation. I am here to explain to you that these people are sick. You cannot be torturing and making me walk down the street in fear and having people guns shoot the bullets, migrants raping and killing and beating up cops, giving them. Do you know we give the migrants $18,000 a month?
Fantastic.
$13,000, I think, in subsidies and food and stuff and rent, and $5,000 in cash. That's $1,000. That's $1,200 a week. Now, let's calculate 18,000 times 12. Would you like to give me that, what the total number is there?
Oh, you're killing me.
Wait a minute. It's better than that. They don't have to pay taxes.
Of course they don't.
If I make that same money, I lose $40,000.
See, your mistake is you
have
not given up your citizenship
and run over the border.
Taking a flight to Cape of Good Hope, and then taking a flight to Mexico City, and then walk north across the border. You can come back and have a lifestyle that's literally twice as good because you don't have to pay taxes then.
See, Christopher, I know Christopher's making a joke, and don't get me wrong. James Green, how are you? He was at a Free Palestine rally, and
James, I don't care if there's no violence. The only freedom that
there is violence. He's not true.
But even if there's no violence, I don't care. There is no such thing as Fakistan. It's a lie. It's nonsense. It was made up by Yasser Arafat as a talking point. These people were given the chance in 1947 to build a productive society alongside their Jewish cousins who'd come home after all this time. Yeah. And don't talk to me about Zionism, because the Peasants' Revolt in 1823, when the Egyptian army wanted to draft into the army the mongrel scum that were there, which later became called Fakistinians, they refused to go in, and because they couldn't attack the Egyptian army, they went and killed Jews. So don't talk to me about Zionism. This is nonsense. Half the land that is in Israel was bought by Jews coming to that land, and the people there were like, you're going to give me money for this terrible, horrible piece of sand? Done. So I don't care about the Free Palestine rallies, being violence, or such rhetoric as I described. I don't care. There's going to be one state of Israel, period. And anyone that lifts up a rock or a gun or tries to take a hostage again is going to feel the full force of vengeance. 75 years of this nonsense is enough. Enough. It's over.
I love this man.
Enough.
You guys don't think I'm smart? Here's the guy. He just made my show so much better. You're just brilliant and eloquent the way you say it. Christopher has a plan that he plans on doing something very special. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it or not.
No.
But this man has a future, and when he does something, he does it not only to make money, but to make the world a better place. His ideas are just so. I love you. You're just a brilliant.
You're very kind.
It's not that you're brilliant. You're compassionate when you do something, and I love you. And plus, you're eloquent and smart. And your
Very
wife
kind.
is lucky.
Buy the book.
Yeah. The Trump. What do you say about? I don't care if you like Trump or not. Are they abusing their privileges with Trump?
Who's they? Sorry.
The government.
Like that's all they've ever done. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Don't we see it? I mean, don't we see it? I mean,
here's the
stop.
problem.
Stop.
This is the serious issue. There are many serious issues, but because of most people get all of their news from social media, and those algorithms in those social media sites train themselves on what you like to hear. Right. So you can be a Cackles fan. I know you're not, but let's for the moment pretend you're
That's
a fan
Harris,
of
by the way.
Cackles.
Wacko Harris.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that people don't know my shorthand. Yeah, so the VP nutcase we've got. And every time you type something in and you get something back that says she's great, you tend to follow that rabbit hole. I, of course, over here think she's a maniac. So when I type something in, I get results that tell me a litany of reasons, these would be objective for those playing the home game, of why she's a nutcase and incompetent. So quite literally, two Americans sitting next to one another, typing the same things into Google, say, are getting entirely different feeds of information. Whereas in the 50s and 60s, Walter Cronkite came on TV once a night, told you how it was, and everyone listened. And you could argue, but there was no doubting what the objective reporting had been, right? Now, Lyndon Johnson had a beautiful statement about this in the press because they hated him. They hate everybody, right? But he said, I could call a press conference tomorrow in front of a lake, and with the entire American press corps there, I could turn around and walk on water across that lake to the other shore. And the headline in the morning would read, President can't swim.
Wow.
So
very good.
You can't trust these clowns. Ignore them.
But, the judges are scared because, like this idiot Jack Smith, they're going after Judge Cannon for following the law, following the Supreme Court, and they're going to try to knock her down because she actually followed it. So, of course, other judges are scared to follow the rule of law. We have murderers, killers, rapists, and all we are busy is with Trump arrested, whatever.
But they are an arm of the Democrat Party, and as long as everyone realizes that and ignores it, you can move on. But they're trying to attack this man. What I love, just briefly, and again, I hate to be sparking my book, but they went nuts about Project 2025, which was this right-wing attempt to destroy America. The funny part is, Project 2025 is a kindly, soft-on-government leftist approach version of my budget. I'll go from 7.7 trillion to 2 trillion tomorrow and lay off 1.8 million people and destroy their unions on the first day in office is my suggestion.
Wow.
And they're going to nibble around. They're going to play with Social Security, and they might talk about the Department of Education. If I were on the left and I had a choice between, I had to choose Project 2025 from the Heritage Foundation, which is a smart piece of work, or my budget, I would leap for Project 2025 with both hands because it leaves the unions intact. It doesn't attack Social Security. It doesn't attack Obamacare. Whereas what I'm proposing is that we get back to a nation where real adults stand on their own 2 feet and we have a small safety net to help those who really actually need it versus the monstrosity of colossal weights. Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, supposedly, who's busy playing cuddle daddies with their 2 adopted twins. May they have better lives than they should.
Oh, God.
They spent $3 billion on EV charging stations, right? The idea being that people aren't going to drive electric vehicles if they can't drive them across country. Do you know how many EV charging stations they built with more than $3 billion with a B?
I'm scared to ask.
Dollars, right? Guess.
I'm scared. If
you put one in your garage because you buy a Tesla, it costs you probably $1,800 to put in.
Less, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, whatever the number is. how many did the government, with access, with availability to the same technology, how many?
1,000.
3.
No, please don't choke.
Not 3,000. 3. 1 billion apiece.
Okay, guys.
3 charging stations for
Do you give
$3 billion.
When I become city council, I'm going to fight for the budget. I need your help. Please come join me.
Happy
Please come
to.
join me. You see, guys, you don't see the waste. You don't see the problems. You don't see, but don't go to the polls. Don't go vote. Let these idiots keep getting put in. Put this crazy Adams, not May Adams, is another person, Adams, head of the city council, who won't allow any legislation to pass unless she approves it first. Then she puts it up for vote. That's not the way it works. She's only one of 51 members. She's a person that runs it. You know, I want to tell you something. They laughed at me when I told people that there was a bug found in my office. Mm-hmm. We found a bug because somehow the cops went to one of my confidential sources. I swear to you, they found a confidential source that was impossible. Nobody knew that confidential source came into me, and we found a bug in my office.
Wow.
Now I just was reading that they found a bug in Trump's office. You know that? They found a security found device, whatever reports. Trump office evacuated over search of $14 prank jacket, but they did find some kind of device.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get in, they can bug you, they can do whatever they want to you. This is just crazy. I don't want to make fun.
Just walk into the permanent surveillance state. It's okay. The good news is that if the NSA is nice and they're watching you, they can call if they notice like you've got a thyroid thing you should be looked at. So it's it's like Big Brother helping out.
You're okay. And my concern over here is forget that they spying on us. They don't have we don't have a life to live.
Forget all that. Sorry, go on. Forget my lack of life and the omnipresent surveillance state. Forget all that.
You know, I know that some of these Republicans, especially in the Brooklyn Republican Party, they actually vote for the Democrats because they give them a few pennies. I could raise more money, but again, like this rabbi from this 12th Avenue rabbi who went against me, they actually get a few pennies, like $10,000 or $20,000, $30,000, and they think it's good enough. You know, I could raise much more money if they were loyal to me.
12th Avenue Rabbi is a phenomenous indie film title.
But Governor Hochul, our wonderful genius of a governor, you know that she had a Chinese spy working for her. They just arrested her. A spy from China went to the governor's office. You were telling me, what could have she found out?
This is where I say this is brilliant, because this young woman from China has got to be the smartest spy in the history of the world, because there is no valuable information to be had in the governor's office in New York, but her spy masters back in China, who think that every political role is important. She's one of 50 governors, so that must be gosh darn important. She's managed to convince them that it's really important that she be stuck into the information flow in Kathy's office, which has got to be the most ridiculous thing on the planet. Because if she loses this gig, her next stop is Tajikistan watching the sheep count. So
I got that. By the way, Infinite Justice calls Hillary Cackles, and I like that. She's using your name.
There you are.
You are Mr. Stockman. The Trump stock dropped 74%. Why? First it goes up, it goes down. What's going on over here? Is it a good stock? Is it a bad stock? Trump media?
A public company? I don't touch them.
You don't touch it.
No, I don't touch public companies.
So
all the information is priced in.
So I want to go to step 2. Everybody loves this company called NVIDIA with AI. Can you explain AI?
Yeah. Oh well. Here's
Do you like NVIDIA, number one?
NVIDIA is brilliant. That what he created is absolutely genius.
So that stock is worth what they
I
say,
don't know.
26
I
times.
haven't looked at the numbers.
I love NVIDIA.
know.
I've done well with it.
I do know that an Arduino chip that goes into your computer here will go for $200 to $300, and an Intel latest generation in bulk will go in for. The numbers are secret, but you just do the math based on the price of the laptop. Whereas an NVIDIA chip that's going into a massive server farm for machine learning is about $40,000 to $45,000 a chip. So they did something really brilliant. Remember, the company also nearly went bankrupt 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. Well, their vision, which they created, was for video gamers that the raster rate, the rate at which the video refreshes, which old video games look really like clunky and mechanical, right? And the closer they get to real live action, the real interactive action and complex scenarios and all that sort of stuff, and millions of starships and all that, to make that look real, that everything went through a central processing unit, which is how the computer works. But the GPU, which is the graphical processing unit, had an entirely separate architecture about how it processes graphical information, pictures. And that was incredibly powerful. And they first took off when the gaming industry caught up with them, because software writers write to the code that works in the chip, and those chips were much more effective at that. Also turned out to be phenomenally brilliant when it came to what's called artificial intelligence, but it was really just massive amounts of very fast processing of billions and billions of pieces of data at once. And because of their ability to take images that are very complex and process them really quickly, it was actually insanely easy to write machine learning code, artificial intelligence code, to work on those chips, and it went and it took off.
So the future is AI, artificial intelligence.
It's better. It's better than natural stupidity, which is what we've been relying on for a long time.
Well,
I'd like to put a chip in the Oval Office and kick everybody else out.
If somebody says they love you, Infinite Justice loves Chris. Chris, there are billions and billions of dollars in student loans. Billions. Okay.
Yes, that people willingly took out, and now
willingly took out.
Wants us
I had to pay
off.
back my student loan, my son's student loan, my daughter-in-law's student loan, and it just doesn't end. These people are now going to get it all. I mean, the court doesn't allow it, but it's illegal.
They've handed out billions.
But it's not fair.
It's not fair. This is a Democrat-run government. Of course, it's not fair.
So
it's ridiculous.
I have to pay, but they don't have to pay because they're Palestinian protesters.
Yeah, you got it. Breakthrough. Now you got it. If you are an American-hating loser, or there's one idiot, I called him out on my Substack in my podcast, who he is the chief legislative officer for a Democrat congresswoman, and he bragged on Twitter that Biden had just paid off $12,500 of his student loans. He's got a law degree. He's making $140,000 a year, and your basic working guy who didn't go to college, didn't do anything. We're all paid off this loser's debt, and instead of doing the right thing, which would be to shamefully give it back because it's wrong, or at least not talk about it, there he is smiling on Twitter like, ha ha ha, vote Biden. He gave me stuff. It is insanity that we allowed this to happen. And what Trump has to do day one, because all this was executive order. The Congress didn't vote to do this. Day one, I can't wait to see the look on all the upsetty spaghetti brats who are not going to Coachella this year because you're going to give us back that money that we should never have given you in the first place. Absolutely.
And that reminds me, January 6th, we have a lot of people that were arrested and put in jail for quite a bit of time. When Trump comes there, he says he's going to pardon all of them right away. Do they get released right away, or is there a process?
They have to be because the government controls Washington, D.C.
So
jails.
the next minute he gets out or not?
The Democrats have kept them under Muriel Bowser's control in the Washington, D.C. jail system.
Terrible.
It's horrifying. They've never been tried. They're not allowed to see lawyers. The Democrats had a show trial for a while that I've been calling January 6th, the musical, which was really fun. If it weren't so seriously deadly that these people who...
They did nothing.
They did nothing. They walked around smiling as if they were tourists from Oklahoma.
One grandmother went in to pray, and she, thank God, only got, I think, a year or 6 months with a bracelet.
Crazy.
But the lawyer fees and the time that we had to struggle and all this stuff,
madness.
Just a waste of our time.
But this is their entire goal. This is, for any of you playing the home game, which we all are, this is the Marxist-Leninist playbook. They need you to say things publicly that you know are not true in order to keep food in your bowl. That is their goal.
I hate when you say the Marxist-Leninists because,
that's their goal.
You were joking around before, go to Mexico, give up your citizenship, come back. The one thing that I'm so proud of, that I feel so great about, is being born an American. Having that people ask me all the time, especially when I'm in Israel, why aren't you wearing the Israeli flag? You're a Jew. Yes, I am. I'm an American Jew, just like you're an African American or a Black American or a Latino American. The bottom line is, I'm an American.
Yep.
I was born an American. I'm proud to be an American. Yes, my blood is red, white, and blue. Whatever, it's red. But sometimes Linda says it's cold and blue, but it's not true. But I'm so proud. I will never give up my citizenship. People come from around the world to fight for this citizenship.
Yep.
I don't want to go to France to
In
be
the
a
last
citizen.
4 years, they didn't have to fight. They just had to walk across the border.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing. Your great Cackles Harris, which I'm going to keep using that name, she took on a vice president. You know his name, Tim whatever?
I call him Comrade. Who paid for me to go to China 30 times? Waltz.
Tim Waltz.
It's a little wordy, a little chewy, but
I want to show you, and I knew right away. I told you COVID was fake. I told you when COVID comes in that there's going to be scams of people ripping you off and robbing you, whatever. Here's the thing. The House Education and Workforce Committee issued subpoenas Wednesday to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the guy that is going to be your next vice president if they win, which I hope will never happen. They responded to that he had some kind of
brainworm.
That he
Moral
did some kind
bypass?
of a pandemic scheme.
Of course he did.
Okay, or he was part of it, or he knew about it, and they subpoenaed him that there was fraud, and he was part of it.
Of course he was.
Now,
He was the governor of Minnesota. By definition, he was a part of the fraud.
correct.
It's nonsense.
And here you go. You're so busy with Trump of $100,000. They had millions, billions, and billions of dollars in fraud during COVID.
Checks that were written to addresses in the federal penitentiary system. If you don't think our government needs to be changed drastically, ponder that. When the COVID checks were cut, right? You sent out the PPP relief, whatever it was, right? There
I
was
didn't
no
do it.
one in
I
the,
didn't take
there
it.
was
My
no one
workers
in the
had no knowledge.
Treasury that looked at a list of addresses. You just automatically, you have a database. Like, where's this check going? It's going to Jimmy's Cleaning Services, Cell 4, Leavenworth, right? They sent the checks.
Yeah.
If everyone involved in any of these departments should be fired for gross incompetence.
They're still
on
calling
day
me.
one.
They're still calling me to try to file. I said I don't want nothing to do with it. I was able to make money. I was able to survive through COVID and pay my bills and pay my workers. And I'm proud that I made it through it. And this was just a scam of more billions of dollars and screwing us for the future. And you're worried about the future. Again, you're not worried about the present. And during COVID, I knew people that opened up centers to get shots. Now, you should only go to a qualified urgent care or hospital or to get the shot. Not to have some guy who has a mobile truck sitting on the corner above a garbage dump or a sewer, and they had 10, 12 of them. These guys became super rich by giving out COVID shots or COVID
You're just
tests.
trying to hold back the little entrepreneur. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you, man? Just because he's shooting people full of sugar water tainted with heroin, so they felt a little better.
You didn't let us work, but you allowed the Department of Buildings to go out there. You didn't let us go shopping, but you had sanitation people going out to arrest us and give us garbage tickets. You know that? They gave there was more fines issued during COVID than the whole following year or the year before that. How does that happen? Arresting people, giving them criminal tickets. We have criminal tickets for building department that you built too much. You didn't follow code. Today it's just, because we laugh at the judgments, because today we know a judgment can go away, or you give us a ticket, we'll go file it, we'll hire an expert. So now the new thing is because everybody could be an administrative judge. Anybody could do administrative law.
Administrative judges are unconstitutional. You don't have an oppositional attorney there.
Right.
The same person. It's like Judge Dredd. in the
And when
movie.
you do have an oppositional person, he's just another guy that wants to become a judge. So you know that
So he's
he's
another
on their side.
bureaucrat working in the same organization.
I'm trying to evict a person, and his lawyer postponed us and played the game. Now it's a year later. We're going to trial. The lawyer shows up and says, "I'm being promoted to judge. I need another adjournment for them till she finds a new lawyer." And the judge gave them another 3 months. I said, 1 minute, a whole year you played the game. You weren't prepared. You're still not a judge. And you know you're going to become a judge. Why don't you bring another guy in and get him up to speed? It's just an eviction case. Pay or don't pay.
Because the private
This is our
sector
system.
is not a system run by people who run
We're going to
business.
lose. We're going to say goodbye now to our listeners at WSNR. Thank you for joining us. Facebook, YouTube, please come back next week. And I'm going to tell you all about the wedding. I'm going to tell you how Christopher dressed. You got to wear a black tie, by the way. Not a bow tie, a regular tie, black. That's the color code. You don't have to come with a tie.
Now I gotta go shopping.
I'll take.
I gotta go next door and hit up my mafia buddy. Say, give me one of those 60 you got.
No. There's a place that when they forced me to go to do my community service, so they put me to embarrass me in a gay outlet store.
That's phenomenal.
And
That's
I was
one of the best things I've ever
they
heard.
they love me. I was hanging up dresses. I was actually seeing a man put on a dress and he says, "How do I look, honey?" Now I didn't know what to say. You know, "Oh, you look great." You know,
What
his
else are you
hairy
gonna say?
chest, and he had this low cut dress. I didn't even, and I liked that dress. I wanted to buy it. It was only $2.
See, you didn't know décolletage could be fuzzy.
But the ties there were $2 and $4. I took home a bunch of ties.
That's it.
It was like so cool, but I couldn't tell anybody I bought it at the gay store because then they call me gay. You know what I mean?
That's all right.
And you know what? Infinite Justice, COVID was, I believe, a communist.
Corporatist bonanza was. I'd like to address something here because clearly we have an oppositional leftist dialing into the show, which is fun. We like to engage.
Go ahead.
But I love his language. Didn't Nixon start things up with China and men of business and affairs shipped our industries over there? Fascinating turn of phrase. I'm going to address it really quickly. Nixon opened up China because he felt that rapprochement with the communist regime was a better idea than having consistent ignorant hostility towards one another. Things up. I don't quite know what that means. Bill Clinton let China into the World Trade Organization, which is an absolute disaster and a nightmare and should never have happened,
Right.
and has to be reversed immediately. But for
can't.
the rest
That'll
of this,
never happen.
of course he can. We're doing it right now. We're shipping manufacturing back here. We're shipping mining back here.
I wish.
Of course it could be
I want
reversed.
that. That's the way it should be. And I want to just tell you guys, all you hear is that crime is down in New York City. Crime is better. Every month, crime is down. 33-year-old teacher shot. I brought that up. A body found in a suitcase. I don't understand that.
Was it a nice suitcase? Did they buy it at that store you did?
Behind an apartment building. You're talking 3 people shot at the West Indian Parade. 2 rapes in Central Park that is being patrolled by millions of cops all over the place. And I don't even want to continue with the crime of people being hit by cars or drunk drivers. You know, yeah, they'll get somebody like that when he smashes into a house. But it's just like our cops are not doing their job because they're too busy protecting the protesters that shouldn't be protected. You should be protecting guys like us because
to be fair to them, they're judged on things like arrest to indictment ratio. And if you arrest someone that Bragg is not going to indict, that just makes you look bad at your end of quarter review.
Right.
So you're not going to arrest someone that this idiot Bragg is not going to even indict or prosecute.
Right. You're going to arrest somebody that made a mistake or had an argument and put him through the system for no reason. I was listening to Harris laugh how she went after somebody who did not, something that they were accused of something stupid. She knew not to indict him. She indicted him. She got him in jail. And after he came out, they ended up dropping the charges a few months later. But the days of hell that he lost were, the record that he got, I mean, what she did to the poor lady's family, and she laughed.
So she left.
Yeah. Just like Bragg. And you know what? I do love Gonzalez as the DA. But again, he's a political man. And Mr. Gonzalez, when I do become councilman, I like you. I'm not going to allow you to play the political game. I'm going to come after you. And I'm telling you now, you guys don't know the power that the city council has. The only problem with the city council is they're scared to use their power because they want to retire. They want to get their salaries. They want to get more, what is it called, discretionary funding. These guys get $5, $10, $12 million in discretionary funding. Do you know what the word discretionary funding is? That they can give the money to anybody they want. Times 51.
You know what's funny? There are 51 opportunities for people to cross my palm with cash in the city, and yet my palm remains empty. What am I doing wrong?
They give it to their friends, so when they retire or they lose, they can get a good job.
Good job. That's the
or
problem.
they can get a professor job at a college like my opponent, Mr. Felder. I mean, the man is not a professor. He has a regular college degree. I don't even know if he has one. A regular college degree. No teaching degree, no nothing. And you're telling me that he could be a professor? I can be a professor.
You sure can.
And I want you to know, guys, I plan on taking a test. And I know you're going to have a laugh. I'm going to take a test. My son and my friend Devorah Mandela are setting me up to take a test, and I'm going to law school. I'm starting. I'm going to try to get in this semester. Otherwise, I have to wait a year. It's a Sunday crash course that they take 4 days and they put it into 1 day. And I can do 2 years and I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to have my son do the regular law with Devorah, and I'm going to be the criminal lawyer. And I'm going to stand before a judge. I could defend you, Mr. Trump, President Trump. If it ever happens again, you just watch me get up, and I'll show you how to make an answer. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Thank you for joining our show. Come on back next week. Benny, thank you for your apartment. Natasha, we love you. Infinite Injustice. Chris loves you. Throw him a kiss.
Deeply.
Watch my show.